What's up, guys? Houston here. And for those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. And for those of you that's been following me and supporting me, salute. And for my faithful patrons, double salute. Now, today's video, we're going to talk about how to get $50,000 in Chase Inc. business credit card funding. And this is a stacking method because you don't necessarily have to rely on just one financial institution to get as much money as you need. Now, in order to get that $50,000, like I said, it's going to be a stacking method. But you may be trying to get up to $50,000 to start your real estate investing. You may be trying to start into cryptocurrency, or you're just trying to buy a vehicle or two to put on ride sharing platforms to make some passive income. No matter what the situation is, this video is going to show you a stacking method on how to raise $50,000 in funding. Now, let's look at some of the data points on the Chase Inc. business credit card. Number one, you do not have to have a business to get a Chase Inc. business credit card. That's right, you do not have to have a business, okay? So where it says your EIN, you can put your social. Where it says the company name, you can put your name, right? And so that's the easiest way to get a business credit card. But if you want more money, then you want to do the stacking method and you actually want to have a business. Now, that business does not have to be around for a long term. You can get a business credit card once you finish setting up the corporation. Now, I would tell you this right now, guys. If you're trying to age your corporation, this is the last 2 weeks to actually put in the information to set up your corporation. The reason is that when January 1st come around, if you set your corporation up now, then your corporation will be 1 year old, even though it has no revenue. Okay? Now, with the Chase Inc. business credit card, I tell you something else that I didn't put down here. It's going off of your expected revenue. So your projected financials, all right? So in terms of, that's what they're going off of. If you don't have those, they're looking at your household income. Now, to get a Chase Inc. business credit card, you can be a freelancer. You can do DoorDash, Instacart. You can do any of those to get a business credit card. But again, I would tell you, if I were you, to get the maximum amount of funding, I would actually present myself as an actual business. Now, if you don't know how to do that, you can check out Three-Way Funding or HoustonMcMiller.net, schedule a one-on-one consultation. But definitely, if you're trying to age your business, at least have it to turn 1 year old by January 1st, you must set up your corporation now. Now, that being said, here's another thing. With the Chase Inc. business credit card, it doesn't report on the personal, all right? It reports only on the business unless you actually default on the credit card. Now, the business credit bureaus it uses is Experian, Equifax, Small Business Financial Exchange, and Dun & Bradstreet. So when you're applying for the business credit card, it's going to pull your personal credit, and it's going to do a hard pull on the Experian most of the time. Sometimes it'll do the TransUnion, but most of the time it's going to be your Experian FICO 8 credit score. Now, the minimum credit score for this is a 680. Some people have gotten a business credit card with a 660 credit score. Again, I always tell people, it's all about the relationship. So those people may have been with Chase for a long time, may have had the personal account, the savings account, the business account. They may already have like 2 or 3 credit cards with Chase. It's all about the relationship. And this is one of the biggest things that most people miss out on, and they miss out on a lot of funding because they would open up a bank account, but they don't make no deposits into it. They don't do anything interactive except for like cash a check or something. but not actually building a relationship with the bank so they can get more money. So if you're trying to get the Chase Inc. business credit card, these data points are very important on your behalf. Now, here's one of the things that some people are confused about, like with the Chase business credit card. Does the 524 rule applies? And what that means that you cannot get more than 5 credit cards within a 24-month time span. All right. However, because the Chase business credit card does not report on does not report on the personal credit, this may not apply. Okay, and I'm saying may not. Some people say it doesn't apply, but I'm gonna say may not because you never know what Chase is going to do. They may change the rules again. But for now, to my understanding, they may not count. If you have 4 personal credit cards and you have 1 Chase business credit card, that's your 524. All right. So they may not count that. They may just say, okay, you got 4 personal credit cards, but if you get another personal credit card, that's your 524. You max out for the next 2 years, but not on the business side. You may have some business credit cards, but they may not apply it or count it as part of your 524, if that makes sense. Now, here's something you do need to understand, that with most credit card companies, the secret sauce in order to be approved for like their business credit cards or any of their credit cards, the secret sauce is income. It's income. So if you have a strong income, if you have a low debt to income ratio, if you don't have a whole lot of new accounts open all at once, then you have a higher chance of being approved. But like I said, in reference to the business side of things, it's totally different because most of the time they're looking at projected number versus real numbers. And because they don't actually do income verification, hint, hint, that may also help you in order to qualify for business credit cards as well. Now, here's some things that you do need to do. Say that you have a 580, 590 credit score and you're trying to get business credit cards. Here's a few things that I would suggest that you do in order to boost up your credit score right away. You can sign up with Grow Credit and Perch. So if you have subscriptions, if you paying a car insurance, if you paying a gym membership, those type of subscription type of programs with Grow Credit and Perch, they will report those as trade lines on your credit file, right? Now, another thing about Perch is if you're paying rent and your landlord is not reporting that on your credit file, that would actually help by them reporting up to 6 months of rent on your credit file. Now, understanding with Chase, they pull your FICO 8, all right? So in terms of these new rules apply to FICO 9, but that doesn't mean that not adding positive trade lines doesn't help boost up the credit score, especially if you're just trying to get an extra 100, 125 points, all right? Now, you can also pledge loans and credit builder loans. The reason that I have this here, because a lot of people will have a lot of open revolving credit lines, so a lot of open credit cards, but they don't have any type of loan. So in order to help balance out the file, you need to have some type of loan on the credit file, all right? Now, adding authorized users. Authorized users don't count on FICO 8, but FICO 9 authorized users help. So that's the reason I have some business credit cards that actually pull from FICO 9 that's going to help you in this video. Now, this extra debit credit card app and One Financial. If you use your debit card a lot, then these are the apps you want to use. And the reason is because all of your debit card transactions, they will report that at the end of the month to the credit bureaus for you, okay? So that's the reason they're such an important tool to have when trying to build credit. Now you can also use Experian Boost. Um, One of the bigger things is removing inquiries. Since you're going to be more likely pulling from Experian or TransUnion, having at least less than 8 inquiries on the credit file would definitely help you. Okay, so if you have more than that, then I would definitely tell you to start challenging some of those inquiries. And the way to do that, again, with Experian, you can call them and sometimes call the fraud department, and they will help you do it over the phone, and it'll take about 24 hours to delete those inquiries. Okay, with TransUnion, you would have to send in your ID, social utility bill in order for them to consider deleting those inquiries. Okay, so that's the reason why sometimes it's better to get credit bureaus on the phone and talk to them to help your situation. Now, Boom Pay and Rental Karma. Why are they here? Is because, again, if you're paying rent, especially like out here in California, people are paying $1,500, $1,700, $4,000 monthly rent. $4,000 monthly rent, and it's not being reported to the credit bureaus. So these are the type of company you want to actually show that, hey, I am paying this and I've been consistent with it. Also, by you showing rent payments for a year and a half, 2 years, BoomPay said they'll report up to 2 years of rent payments. The reason is because that would help you qualify for a FHA mortgage with the new FHA rules. So that's the reason that's important. Now, here's something that's very important. Now, these, you do not have to have these here accounts on your business credit file if you're just getting a new credit card, okay? Because again, if you don't actually have a business and you're just using your name and stuff like that, then it doesn't matter. However, if you're trying to get $50,000 in funding as a real business owner, then this is very important. Now, understanding Chase reports all business activity to Equifax, Experian, Small Business Financial Exchange, and Dun & Bradstreet. So these are some of the net 30s I would definitely consider adding. All you need is maybe about 3, 4 max. All right. So Shirtsy reports to Equifax, Credit Safe, Small Business Financial Exchange, and Sonia, and National Association of Credit Management. All right. But you have to be in business at least 90 days for that one. So if you're a new business, you don't have to worry about that one unless you just want to do it. Now, with Summa Office, they report to Experian and Equifax, and they will give you a trade reference letter. All right. Also, Quill, Dun & Bradstreet. They report to Experian and Dun & Bradstreet. Now, the reason Quill is here instead of Granger, Seaton, and Uline is because they have a mechanism. So if you're shoestringing your budget, they have a mechanism in it to help fund your business if you actually need to shoestring your budget. For those of you that may know what I'm talking about, put a comment below. Now, that being said, you have Wise Business Plan, which reports to Equifax, Experian, Dun & Bradstreet. However, you do not have to have a business plan in order for them to report. They have other business credit products that can help you to qualify for reporting. All right. Then you have NAV. Now with NAV, you either have to have the Business Boost or the Business Loan Builder program in order for them to report to Equifax, Experian, and Dun & Bradstreet. So having at least 3 of these on your credit file definitely helps. Now with some of these, you have to purchase a product more than once, okay? So it's not a one and done thing. Actually more than once, okay? Now, this credit card, the American Express Blue card here. I call this American Express Super Money, and there's a reason why. All right, one, this is probably the easiest credit card to get, all right, for the business. But here's the secret. Here's a secret for you. If you get a regular American Express card. Then when you have a business set up, you can apply for a business credit card and it won't be a hard inquiry on your credit file. Okay, so that's the reason it is, because they're pulling all this other data from the personal side that they already looked at. And one of the key metrics with getting approved for American Express card, especially with a high limit credit American Express card, low DTI. So if you can get your credit card utilization under 9%, that's a winner chicken dinner. Also, in terms of your income plays a big factor in terms of when trying to get approved for a credit card with American Express. Now, again, you have to be careful, because here's the thing. People will tell American Express, oh, I make $150,000 a year. But here's the problem, and why they end up being audited. Because they don't have a mortgage on the file. You're making $150,000 a year. You tell me you don't have a mortgage on file. You don't have on your credit file. You don't have a car payment on your credit file, and you're not showing rent. Okay, so then what's up, right? So for them, it shows suspicious activity. Another thing I'm going to tell you guys is that once you get your American Express card, do not automatically start making large purchases. Okay, because if you automatically start making large purchases, that also throws up a red flag for American Express as well. So you have to be very careful with them. Now, some of the things that you may not know about American Express. American Express, I actually made a video on how to build a relationship with American Express, and I think I updated that video as well. But here's the thing about it. American Express now offer business bank accounts. Okay, American Express on the business side, they report to the Small Business Financial Exchange. So those net 30s I was showing you was the ones you want to do. And going back to the relationship chase, okay, here's something that a lot of people don't do either. They want to get business credit cards and stuff. However, they would open up a business bank account with these companies like Chase to get the business credit card, but they don't put any money into the business bank account. Start making weekly deposits into the business bank account. That makes all the difference with helping you build up your business credit faster and being able to qualify for more business credit funding. Just that small thing. I don't care if it's $25, $50, $100 a week, but you should consistently have money deposited weekly into your business bank account. Okay, that's going to help you get access to more funding. All right, so that now that you know that. But again, American Express lending, it's called Cabbage Lending. They now offer lines of credit from 1,000 up to 150,000. So you may not have a perfect credit score, okay? But if you have an established business, they're looking at the operations of the business. That's the reason I continue to tell people it's not always about the FICO score. It's all about, what's the business is doing, how's the business doing. Those things matter in terms of when trying to get business funding. Now, like I said, a credit score for a business credit card, average credit score or minimum average credit score is about a 680. People with less than a 680 have gotten American Express cards. I got a friend that actually filed bankruptcy on American Express, and then it did take a few years. It was a long time, about 7 years. But they did give him another shot at the American Express card. Okay, so it is possible after you file bankruptcy to get another American Express card. Okay. Now, if you just need a business credit card, then you have the Capital One Spark Class Business Card. Now, again, 580 credit score, they're going to pull your FICO 8. So they usually pull all three of your personal credit, right? But if you have one of them locked, I would tell you to freeze your accounts, but lock them. There's a difference, okay? And Capital One reports to the business credit bureaus as well. Now, here's a company, Capital One Tap. Say that you had a business. You was selling stuff on Amazon. Because I had a client. Was making money, and he needed a line of credit from Amazon. Amazon wouldn't give it to him, okay? But he had documentation proving that he's actually making money. So he went to Capital on Tap, and they looked at the bank statements, and they did pull this FICO 9, but they just looked at the bank statement to see he actually was generating revenue, and they gave him $20,000. So I had another client. He hadn't even had his corporation up for, I don't even think it's been 8 months, and he done raised almost 75,000. Granted that he has over a 700 credit score. However, he had a lot of inquiries. But one of the bigger things that helped him, because he was doing the weekly deposits, and because he used the weekly deposits, he reached out to companies like Capital One Tap, Business Health Group, okay, to be able to get funding. All right, so that's the reason I'm telling you guys that it's not always about the credit score. If you have strong bank statements, or bank statements with Capital One Tap, at least making 30,000 annually, right? So if you're making 30,000 annually, so say that this guy, like I said, his company was even 8 months. So with 8 months, 30,000, he's looking at what, about $3,200 a month or something like that to qualify for funding with Capital One Tap. So you don't even have to be in business 1 year. You may be a business that just by a fluke you had a very good month and made 30,000. Because of that, they would actually still give you funding, because again, they're looking at how the business is performing. Now, unfortunately, they're not working with sole props at the moment, but that doesn't say that they're not going to change either. Okay, so you'll need your bank statements and proof of ID. I actually have made a video, a more detailed video. So if you want to see the Capital One Tap video, then put a comment below for that one. Now, PNC Visa Business Credit Card. Again, they pull FICO 8 Experian, but people have gotten a business credit card with a 600 credit score. Why is that? Because again, the relationship, making the weekly deposits, having a personal account, savings account, business account. They may have even had maybe just a personal account with a personal credit card that they have been making good payments on, right? So that's what they're looking at. The internal scoring is what it's called. But you definitely can be able to get funding. So in terms of trying to raise $50,000 starting with the Chase Ink business credit card, it's not hard. Actually, you can do it with the Chase cards. So you can possibly get 5 Chase cards at $5,000 a piece. Or they may give you one Chase card with 25,000, then you apply, and they may break the other 25 over 3 other cards, just with Chase Ink cards. So that doesn't mean that one bank can't do it, but in terms of raising that $50,000 right away, I would spread it out to get it. Now, Wells Fargo, this is the interesting thing about Wells Fargo. And again, like I said, this is a stacking method. Wells Fargo credit cards is 680. They use FICO 9. So again, now you see where FICO 9 is more important, because a lot of lenders, especially like with TransUnion, they're starting to focus more on FICO 9 as well. Now with Wells Fargo, they may offer you $5,000, $7,000, or $10,000, right? But if you use that and make the weekly deposits, like I'm telling you, after 90 days, they'll give you a line of credit. Sometimes they may give you a line of credit less than 90 days, more like 60 days. But again, you have to show that you're actually using their product and you're actually bringing in revenue. All right. So if you have any questions or concerns about business credit funding, again, you need to set your business credit company up now if you want it to be 1 year old by January 1st. All right, so just keep that in mind. If you have questions and need consultation, click the link below to go to three-way funding or houstonmcmiller.net. Thank you.